In the village of Akazembo, tucked between the Volta River and low green hills, lived a boy named Kwame. He was 11 years old, skinny as a river reed, with eyes the color of polished obsidian that never quite focused on the world. Things far away blurred into soft shapes. Close up, color smeared like wet chalk, faces he knew by voice and footsteps, trees by the feel of their bark under his palms. The village called his condition the mist in the eyes, and though his mother took him to the herbalist in the clinic in the next town, the mist never lifted. Kwame's days began early. While other boys chased chickens or kicked a rag ball across the dusty compound, he stayed near the house, helping his mother grind maize or fetch water from the shallow stream. He learned to walk the paths by counting steps 23 from the mango tree to the yam barn, 47 from the barn to the riverbank. He listened to the river's different moods. Calm murmur in the dry season, impatient rush after rain. He felt the wind shift direction before anyone else noticed. One dry season morning, when the sun already burned hot by 8 o'clock, the village elder, Nana Afori, called the boys together under the big bell. A trader from Accra had come with a challenge. The boy who could find the hidden river stone, a smooth black rock painted with white chalk hidden somewhere along the half-kilometer stretch of riverbank, would win a new bicycle. The other boys laughed and ran off, splashing through shallows, turning over rocks, shouting to each other. Kwame stayed where he was, sitting on a route, listening. The river talked in many voices, gurgle over pebbles, slap against clay banks, whisper through reeds. He waited until the shouts of the others faded upstream, then stood and began to walk slowly downstream, bare feet feeling the change from dry sand to wet mud, from smooth stones to sharp gravel. He moved with his hands out like feelers. When he touched a rock, he lifted it, ran his fingers over its surface. Most were rough or algae-slick. Some were warm from the sun. None had the chalky dust he knew would mark the prize. After what felt like hours, his fingers brushed something different. A stone heavier than the others, perfectly oval, cool in the shade of an overhanging palm. He traced the surface. There were faint ridges where chalk had been drawn, now half washed by splashes but still raised. Kwame lifted the stone high. "I have it," he called, voice cracking a little from disuse. The other boys came running, skeptical at first, then quiet. The trader inspected the stone, nodded, and handed Kwame the bicycle, a red one, with a bell that rang clear and bright. That evening, under the kerosene lamp, Kwame's mother sat beside him as he ran his hands over the handlebars, the frame, the spokes. "You see better than they think," she said softly. Kwame smiled, small and sure. "I don't see with eyes," he answered. "I see with everything else." In the months that followed, Kwame rode the bicycle slowly at first, learning the feel of the pedals, the lean of the path, the rattle when he passed the pothole near the school. Other boys taught him to ring the bell as warning. He taught them to listen for the different sounds of the river so they could find the best fishing spots without looking. Sometimes, when the mist in his eyes felt heavier, Kwame would stop by the baobab and rest his forehead against its rough trunk. He remembered the day he found the stone not by seeing it, but by knowing what it wasn't. The village no longer pitied him. They began to ask him things. Where the best clay was for pots, which paths stayed dry after rain, how to tell when the harmattan wind was coming by the smell alone. Years later, when Kwame was grown and had children of his own, he still kept the Black River stone on the windowsill. Its white chalk, long faded but the memory sharp. He told his little girl the story not as a tale of winning a prize, but as proof that sight is not the only way to find what is hidden. And in Akazembo, on quiet evenings, people still spoke of the boy who could not see clearly, and how he showed everyone else what they had been missing.